Let me begin this lesson with a simple truth. No man can sell more confidence than he possesses himself. That's right. You can only transfer to others the belief you already carry in your own heart. And that's why self-confidence is not just helpful, it is essential. It is the foundation of all achievement, the quiet force behind every great sale, every great idea, every great leader. People sense confidence before you speak a word. They feel it in the way you walk into a room, the way you shake a hand, the way you look them in the eye. Confidence tells others, this man believes in what he's saying, this man believes in himself, and maybe I should believe in him too. But here's what stops most people. They confuse self-confidence with arrogance, or they think confidence is something you're born with like height or eye color. Nothing could be further from the truth. Self-confidence is built. It is forged through habit, strengthened through experience, and reinforced every time you keep a promise to yourself. It is not about pretending to be better than others, it's about knowing you're prepared, knowing you're capable, and knowing you can be trusted to deliver what you say you will. Now let's get very practical. How do you build this kind of confidence? First, you must master your thoughts. Your mind is the soil from which all confidence grows or fails to grow. You cannot think small, fearful, doubting thoughts all day and expect to act like a giant when it counts. So begin each day by feeding your mind with belief, with possibility, with courage. Speak to yourself as you would to a valued friend. Affirm your ability, your progress, your worth, even when the evidence is not yet visible. Second, you must prepare relentlessly. Confidence comes when you know your subject, when you've done your homework, when you can answer the questions others fear. You cannot expect to feel strong in the moment if you have not paid the price of preparation before it. Third, you must act. Action builds confidence faster than thought alone ever could. When you take a step, even a small, imperfect one, you prove to yourself that fear has no power over you. And with each step, that proof grows stronger. Fourth, surround yourself with belief. The company you keep will either lift you higher or drag you down. Spend time with those who encourage you, who see your potential, who remind you of what's possible. Their faith in you will help you strengthen your own. Finally, learn to carry yourself with dignity, even in defeat. Everyone stumbles, everyone fails, but the man who maintains his composure and rises again, that is the man people follow. So here's the challenge. Do not wait for others to believe in you first. Do not wait for results to justify your confidence. Decide now this very moment to believe in yourself, because until you do, no one else can. And once you do, the world will start reflecting that belief right back to you. That is the strategy of self-confidence. It begins in the mind, grows through preparation, and shines through action. Master it, and you will never lack for opportunities, because confidence sells better than anything else you carry. Now let me share with you something that many overlook. Confidence is not just what you show the world, it is what you whisper to yourself when no one else is listening. You see, most men put on a brave face. They square their shoulders, they speak firmly, they smile. But deep inside, doubt gnaws at them. They wonder, am I really good enough? Do I truly deserve this? What if I fail? And that quiet doubt leaks into everything they do. It softens their handshake. It makes their voice tremble. It fills their mind with excuses before they've even begun. So here is your task. Build a reservoir of confidence so deep and steady that no rejection, no criticism, no setback can drain it completely. But how? First, you must understand that confidence grows only through evidence. You cannot simply wish for it. You cannot fake it for long. You must create it. And the evidence that builds confidence comes from one thing: keeping the promises you make to yourself. When you tell yourself, I will make that call today, and you do, your confidence grows. When you tell yourself, I will prepare until I know my material inside and out, and you do, your confidence grows. When you tell yourself, I will stand tall even if I hear a no, and you do, your confidence grows. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you're sending a message to yourself, I can trust me, I am a man of my word. And nothing breeds confidence faster than trust in yourself. Second, you must learn to reframe rejection. Because here is the truth, rejection is inevitable. Even the greatest salesman in the world hears no more often than yes. But the man who thrives is the man who refuses to see rejection as personal. He knows it is simply feedback, a signal to adjust, refine, and try again. So when someone says no, tell yourself, they are not rejecting me, they are rejecting the offer at this moment. Then ask, what can I learn? How can I improve? And move forward stronger. Third, you must carry yourself as though you already possess the confidence you seek. Because posture influences perception, not just others' perception of you, but your own. Walk like a man who matters. Speak like a man who believes. Look others in the eye and hold their gaze. Breathe deeply and stand straight. These small habits send signals to others and to yourself that you are in command. And lastly, you must remember that confidence is not about perfection. It is not about never making mistakes or never feeling fear. It is about showing up despite those things and doing your best anyway. So from this day forward, commit to acting as though you already believe in yourself fully. Because here's the great secret. When you act confident long enough, you become confident. Others will feel it. You will feel it. And opportunities will begin to flow toward you, because nothing attracts success more than a man who believes he deserves it. That is the strategy of self-confidence. Build it from evidence, protect it through habit, and express it through action, until the world cannot help but believe in you too. Now let's take this even further, because self-confidence is not just about how you feel in a moment. It's about how you carry yourself through your entire life. Here's what I mean. Confidence is cumulative. Every small act of courage, every tiny victory, every obstacle overcome these stack up inside you. And over time, they create a foundation so strong that no storm can knock you down. But just as confidence can be built, it can also be broken by habits of thought and action that weaken your spirit. So let's talk about what destroys confidence and how to avoid those traps. The first destroyer of confidence is self-criticism without action. Every man falls short sometimes. But the man who beats himself up and then does nothing to improve digs himself deeper into doubt. Instead, learn to turn criticism into fuel. If you see a weakness, decide today to fix it. Every improvement you make, no matter how small, adds to your confidence. The second destroyer is comparison. Too many men measure themselves against others and come up short. But here's the truth. You are not here to compete with anyone else. You are here to become the best version of you. So focus on your own progress. When you compare yourself today to who you were yesterday and see growth, confidence naturally follows. The third destroyer is inaction. Nothing erodes confidence faster than procrastination. When you delay what you know you must do, you send a message to your own mind. I don't believe I can handle this. But every time you take action, even clumsy, imperfect action, you prove to yourself that you can. And the fourth destroyer is allowing fear to lead. Fear is natural. But when you let it make your decisions, when you let it stop you from stepping forward, it grows. And as it grows, your confidence shrinks. So the only cure is to face the fear, take the step, and discover it was never as big as it seemed. Now let me tell you what builds confidence stronger than anything else. Service. When you focus on how you can help others, how you can solve their problems, ease their burdens, fulfill their needs, you forget about your own self-doubt. You stop worrying about how you look or whether you're good enough. You simply act, and through action, you grow stronger. So here's the challenge I leave you with in this part of the lesson. Stop waiting to feel confident before you act. Instead, act and watch how the feeling follows. Stop tearing yourself down with doubt and criticism. Start building yourself up with preparation, courage, and small daily wins. Stop comparing yourself to others. Measure your progress by the man you were yesterday and aim to be better today. Because the man who chooses to believe in himself, even when the evidence isn't yet visible, that man is already ahead of the crowd. Confidence is not a gift, it's a decision. And the sooner you decide to live like a man who deserves success, the sooner the world will agree with you. Now, let's uncover one of the most powerful secrets about confidence, something so few understand. Confidence grows when you help others feel confident too. You see, many people believe confidence is selfish, that it's about putting yourself above everyone else. But true confidence has nothing to do with arrogance or superiority. In fact, the most confident men are the ones who lift others up, not tear them down. Think about it. Have you ever been around a person who made you feel bigger, stronger, more capable just by the way they spoke to you? That's what real confidence does. It radiates outward, giving others permission to believe in themselves. And here's the wonderful thing. The more you help others see their own value, the more your own confidence grows in return. So how do you do this? First, speak life into people. Notice their strengths and tell them what you see. A kind, sincere word can stay with a person for years, sometimes even change the course of their life. And when you make others feel important, you reinforce your own sense of value as well. Second, refuse to compete in petty ways. When you're secure in yourself, you don't need to outshine or undermine anyone else. You can celebrate their victories knowing they don't diminish your own. Third, lead by example. Show others what it looks like to believe in yourself. When you walk confidently, speak with conviction, and act decisively, you give others a model to follow. You make confidence seem possible, even contagious. And fourth, create opportunities for others to win. A true leader, a true salesman, a true builder of confidence creates space for others to step up and shine. When people feel that you want them to succeed, they will support you, trust you, and follow you anywhere. Now, let's take this principle even deeper. When you deliberately make someone else feel seen, heard, and valued, you not only change their day, you change your own mindset. You remind yourself that you have the power to influence lives, that your presence matters, that you are not here just to take but to give. And every time you give confidence to someone else, you reinforce your identity as a confident man. So here's a challenge for today. Look for someone who seems unsure of themselves and speak to their strength. Find someone who's struggling and remind them what they're capable of. Stand next to someone who feels invisible and make sure they know they're not. Because the more you lift others up, the higher you'll rise yourself. This is the quiet magic of confidence. It multiplies when shared. So be the kind of man who carries enough confidence to share freely. And watch how your influence, respect, and opportunities grow in return. That is the strategy of self-confidence at its highest level. Building yourself and building others at the same time. Now let me reveal another critical insight about self-confidence, one that separates the masters from the mediocre. Confidence is a habit, not an event. Too many men treat confidence like something that strikes them in the heat of the moment, like a flash of lightning. They hope it will appear right when they need it. But that's not how it works. Confidence is not a switch you flip when you walk into the meeting or step onto the stage. It's a habit you cultivate day after day, long before the big moments arrive. Think of it like a muscle. You cannot ignore it all year and expect it to perform on command. You must train it, strengthen it, and feed it consistently so that when it's time to perform, it's ready. So, how do you build confidence into a habit? First, set small, daily challenges and conquer them. It doesn't have to be grand. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Speak up in that meeting. Every little victory adds weight to your sense of self-trust. Second, practice your craft until it becomes second nature. Nothing breeds confidence like knowing you are prepared. Don't wait for someone else to make you ready. Make yourself ready. When you know your material, your product, your value inside and out, fear has no room to live. Third, take care of your body and your appearance. This may seem superficial, but it's not. When you walk into a room feeling strong, healthy, and put together, you send a signal to yourself and others that you belong there. Fourth, speak to yourself with respect. Stop calling yourself names in your own mind. Stop rehearsing your failures and fears. Start speaking to yourself as you would to a trusted friend or valued partner, with encouragement, belief, and patience. And fifth, surround yourself with confidence builders, not confidence breakers. You cannot rise if everyone around you is trying to pull you down. Choose company that sees your potential and reminds you of it when you forget. Now, here is the payoff. When you make confidence a habit, it becomes who you are, not just something you feel. You carry it into every room, every conversation, every challenge, and others will feel it too. They will respond to you differently because confidence is magnetic. It inspires trust. It draws people in. It makes them believe in what you're offering because they believe in you. So don't leave your confidence to chance. Don't hope it shows up when you need it. Build it every day, piece by piece, until it becomes your natural state of being. Because the man who carries confidence as a habit will never have to chase opportunity. Opportunity will come looking for him. Let me now show you how self-confidence becomes your greatest sales tool, not just in business, but in every interaction of your life. Because confidence sells. It sells more than facts. It sells more than features. It even sells more than skill. Why? Because people buy people. And when you radiate belief in yourself, others begin to believe in you too often before they understand a single detail of what you offer. Think about this. Have you ever spoken to someone who wasn't the smartest in the room, but you found yourself listening to them anyway, even agreeing with them, simply because they spoke with such calm certainty? That's the invisible power of confidence. It quiets objections. It replaces hesitation with curiosity. It turns maybe into why not. And it's not about being loud or forceful, it's about being centered. A man with true confidence doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't try to impress, he expresses. He doesn't beg for trust, he earns it by the way he carries himself. Now let's get practical. How exactly does confidence show up in a sales situation, and how can you harness it? First, in your tone. A confident man speaks with clarity and calmness. He doesn't rush. He doesn't over-explain. He allows his pauses to hold power. Second, in your body. Before you say a word, your posture speaks for you. Stand tall. Meet the eyes of the person across from you. Breathe deeply. When your body shows steadiness, your message carries more weight. Third, in your presence. Be fully engaged. Don't let your eyes dart. Don't fiddle, shift, or check your watch. When you are completely there, people feel it and they respond. Fourth, in your certainty. You must believe in your offer before anyone else will. If your voice betrays doubt or your energy seems hesitant, others will feel it even if your words are perfect. So practice affirming not just your own value, but the value of what you bring to others. Say it aloud. Visualize the transformation your product or service creates. Feel it in your bones. Because confidence is not just an attitude, it's a conviction. And once it lives in you, it becomes contagious. Here's the payoff. When you sell from a place of quiet, grounded confidence, you eliminate resistance before it begins. People trust you without knowing exactly why. They want to hear more. They feel safe saying yes. So never underestimate what your belief in yourself can do. Not just for you, but for everyone you hope to serve. Self-confidence is not a trick. It is not a gimmick. It is the very energy that turns good intentions into powerful influence. Carry it with you and the world will follow. Now, let me teach you something that will truly set you apart. Confidence isn't just about winning, it's about how you handle losing. Yes, that's right. Anyone can walk tall when everything goes his way. Anyone can smile when the sale is easy, when the crowd applauds, when the path is clear. But the real test of your confidence, the moment that defines you, comes when you hear no, when the door slams, when the deal falls through, when no one seems to believe in you. In those moments, most men shrink. They doubt themselves. They give up or retreat into bitterness. But the man with true self-confidence stands firm, because he knows something others forget. One no does not define your worth. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not the opinions of others. You are what you choose to do next. So how do you maintain your confidence in the face of defeat? First, remember that rejection is not personal. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with you at all. Maybe it was bad timing. Maybe they didn't understand. Maybe they simply weren't ready. But none of that diminishes your value. And none of it should stop you from showing up again tomorrow, better prepared, stronger than before. Second, learn to extract the lesson. Every rejection carries a gift if you're willing to look for it. Ask yourself, what can I improve? What did I miss? How can I approach this differently next time? When you treat setbacks as teachers instead of enemies, your confidence grows because you trust yourself to learn and adapt. Third, keep moving. Nothing restores confidence faster than action. Don't sit in the corner licking your wounds. Pick up the phone. Have the next conversation. Knock on the next door. Momentum is the antidote to doubt. And finally, speak to yourself with respect, especially when you lose. Most men talk to themselves worse than they would ever talk to another human being. They say, "I'm no good, I always fail, I can't do this." But the man who keeps his confidence reminds himself, "This is just one step. I am capable. I am learning. I will win because I refuse to quit." And that, my friend, is how confidence becomes unshakable. It is not built on the illusion of perfection. It is built on the knowledge that no matter what happens, you have the strength to stand up, face the world, and keep going. So don't fear failure. Don't run from rejection. Use them to forge a deeper, stronger confidence, the kind no one can take away from you. Because when others see that you can walk through fire and still believe in yourself, they'll believe in you too. And that is when you become unstoppable. Now let's talk about something many overlook, yet it is one of the surest ways to build unshakable confidence. Preparation. Yes, preparation. Because nothing destroys fear faster, nothing fuels self-belief more effectively, and nothing commands respect more consistently than a man who comes prepared. Most people walk into a situation hoping they'll perform well. They cross their fingers and pray for luck. But luck favors the prepared, and the man who invests the time to know his material, know his audience, and know himself always has the advantage. Let me put it plainly. You cannot expect to feel confident if you have not earned the right to feel it. Imagine two salesmen walking into the same room. One has studied his product inside and out. He's rehearsed answers to tough questions. He's anticipated objections and practiced his responses. The other skimmed his notes on the way in. Who do you think speaks with confidence? Who do you think wins the trust of the room? Confidence is built in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It is built when you choose to practice instead of procrastinate. It is built when you rehearse not just until you get it right, but until you can't get it wrong. Here's how to harness the power of preparation in your life. First, master your subject. Whether you're selling a product, pitching an idea, or simply trying to make a good impression, know what you're talking about. When you know your material so well you could explain it in your sleep, doubt has no place to hide. Second, know your audience. Who are you speaking to? What do they care about? What fears, dreams, and desires drive them? The man who understands his audience better than his competition does is already halfway to a yes. Third, anticipate obstacles. Think ahead. What questions will they ask? What concerns will they raise? What could go wrong and how will you handle it? When you're prepared for the worst, you walk in confident that you can handle anything. Fourth, rehearse under pressure. Don't just practice when you're comfortable. Simulate the real conditions. Put yourself on the spot. The more you practice in discomfort, the more comfortable you'll feel when it matters. And fifth, prepare your mindset. Before you step into the room, take a moment to ground yourself. Breathe deeply. Visualize your success. Remind yourself of all the work you've done to get here. Because the man who walks in knowing he's prepared doesn't need to bluff. He doesn't need to boast. He simply is, and others feel it. Preparation transforms nervous energy into quiet power. It turns fear into focus. It turns uncertainty into certainty. So remember this. Confidence is not magic, it is earned. And it is earned long before the moment of truth ever arrives. If you want to carry yourself like a man who belongs in every room he enters, then start by preparing so thoroughly that you cannot help but believe in yourself. Because when you've done the work, the world senses it and says yes. Now let me show you yet another secret of self-confidence, one so powerful that it not only strengthens you but also transforms the way others respond to you. Consistency. That's right, consistency. Because confidence isn't something you show once and expect to last forever. It's something you demonstrate over and over in the way you show up every single day. People don't trust a man who's great one day and invisible the next. They don't follow a leader who's enthusiastic on Monday but full of excuses on Friday. And they don't say yes to someone who's only confident when the sun is shining. They believe in and buy from the man who proves he can be counted on. Here's the beauty of consistency. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to always get it right. But you do have to keep showing up prepared, composed, and willing to do the work. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're casting a vote for your own belief in yourself. Every time you deliver on a promise, even when it would be easier to let it slide, you're strengthening the foundation of your confidence. Every time you take another step, no matter how small, you're proving to yourself that you're reliable. That reliability becomes your reputation, and your reputation becomes your confidence. So, how do you build consistency into your life? First, set standards, not moods. Decide in advance how you will act, no matter how you feel. The confident man doesn't wait until he feels ready. He does what needs to be done because it's who he is, not just what he feels like. Second, start small, but stick to it. You don't have to change everything at once. Pick one habit, one promise, one goal, and honor it every day until it becomes second nature. That small win will grow into something larger than you imagined. Third, measure yourself against yourself. Confidence doesn't come from being better than others, it comes from being better than you were yesterday. Track your progress. Celebrate your growth. Use it as proof that you can keep moving forward. And fourth, forgive yourself quickly when you stumble, but get back up just as quickly. Nobody is perfect. What matters is that you return to your path and keep walking it, day after day. Here's the payoff. When you live consistently, when you keep showing up, keep delivering, keep believing, others begin to see you differently. They begin to count on you. They begin to trust you more than they trust their own doubts. And something even more important happens inside you. You begin to trust yourself. Because nothing builds confidence like knowing you'll keep your own word. And nothing destroys it faster than proving to yourself you can't. So today and every day, choose consistency. Show up as the man you want to be, whether or not you feel like him yet. Because the more you act like him, the more you become him. That, my friend, is the quiet power of self-confidence. Not loud, not flashy, but steadfast, reliable, and undeniable. And now, let's bring it all together, because the greatest truth about self-confidence is this. It is not a destination, it is a way of life. Too many men treat confidence like a prize to be won, a moment to achieve, a feeling to chase. But real confidence is not about one moment of courage. It is about building yourself into a man who can walk into any room, face any challenge, and meet any opportunity knowing deep in his bones that he belongs there. This kind of confidence does not depend on applause from others. It does not depend on luck or circumstances. It comes from within, and it cannot be taken from you without your permission. So let me remind you what we've learned. You build confidence by mastering your thoughts, choosing belief over fear. You strengthen it through preparation, paying the price before the moment of truth arrives. You prove it through action, even when you don't feel ready, even when doubt whispers in your ear. You reinforce it through service, lifting others as you rise. You multiply it through consistency, showing up as the man you've decided to become day after day. And here's the most powerful part. Once you carry yourself with true self-confidence, you give others permission to do the same. You become a beacon for your family, your team, your clients, even for strangers who cross your path. They see you standing tall, and it reminds them that they can stand tall too. They hear the conviction in your voice, and it quiets their own doubts. They feel the steady energy you bring, and it makes them want to believe in themselves. That is why self-confidence is not just for you, it's your gift to everyone around you. But you must choose it. Every morning when you wake up, you have the choice. Will you shrink into doubt and fear? Or will you stand in faith? Faith in your preparation, faith in your value, faith in the man you're becoming. Every time you choose faith over fear, belief over doubt, courage over hesitation, you grow stronger. And eventually, something remarkable happens. You stop having to tell yourself you're confident because you simply are. It becomes who you are, not just what you feel. And once you reach that place, the world begins to move differently around you. Doors open. People listen. Opportunities find you because confidence attracts success like a magnet. So here is my final challenge to you. Decide today that you will no longer wait for permission to believe in yourself. Decide that you will carry yourself with dignity, speak with conviction, and act with courage. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. And as you do, remember this. There is no man alive more powerful than the one who truly believes in himself. So stand tall, speak clearly, move boldly, and watch as the world begins to rise up to meet the level of your belief. That is the strategy of self-confidence, and it will serve you for the rest of your life.